Hi everyone, welcome back to Nirja Education. Today we are going to discuss the second chapter of Standard 9 is Matter Around a Sphere. Already we have discussed the introduction of this chapter, separation techniques also we have discussed. Today we are going to discuss the continuation of these separation techniques. The next separation techniques that we are going to discuss is the sublimation method. Do you know what is sublimation? Yes, the conversion of a solid directly into a gaseous state and vice versa, that is known as sublimation method. Suppose you are having two mixtures that should be solid mixtures, in that one is sublimable volatile substance, then you can use this method. So this is two solids we are taking, but one condition is there that they will not react each other. The solid will not react each other. Here we are going to take one example, that is the mixture of ammonium chloride and salt. We have to separate the mixture of ammonium chloride and salt. You know that here ammonium chloride is a volatile substance, that means it will change directly into gaseous state, but salt it will evaporate. First it will change into liquid state, then the evaporation starts here. So this is the volatile substance here. On the screen you can see the arrangement of this sublimation. You are having the china dish. In china dish we are going to take the mixture of this ammonium chloride and salt. In that one inverted funnel is kept there. You can see that in the figure. In that inverted funnel, when we are heating, what happened is that this ammonium chloride started evaporating because it is volatile. Volatile means it will evaporate fast and it will directly change into gaseous state. It is not going to change into liquid state here. Funnel is actually the closed one. Cotton plug is kept there. So the ammonium chloride vapors can't escape out from there. It can't escape out from the funnel. So what will happen here is that when it condenses, when these vapors of ammonium chloride condenses, you can see in the wall of this inverted funnel or inverted tube, you can see that ammonium chloride crystals. Like this way you can separate ammonium chloride and salt. Salt will be left over in the china dish only, and ammonium chloride will be there in the powder form. It will be there on the walls of the inverted funnel. This is how we are using this sublimation method to separate an volatile sublime material from another solid. So condition is that the two solids should not react each other. If they are reacting means chemically combined and you are getting some other products. So the two solids will not react each other. Next we are going to discuss another method, that is chromatography. Next we are going to discuss about the chromatography. This is very important method used for the separation. Suppose two more soluble substances are there. If you want to separate it, then we are using this chromatography. One example, dye. Dye, you know that it is a mixture of colors. If you want to separate the colors from the dye, then we can use this chromatography method. This chromatography is, the word came from a Greek word, that is chroma. The meaning of chroma is that color. So mostly we are using to separate the colors from the dye. So that is why this method is known as chromatography. So it came from a Greek word chroma. So we are using to separate colors from the dye. Now we will see how we can separate the colors from the dye. I have drawn one figure here. So this is the filter paper that we are taking here. This is the filter paper, and in this filter paper we are marking one line almost 3 centimeter above. We are above from the end we are making one line here, and in this line we are making one spot using this dye. This is the spot that we are making using the dye. After that what you have to do is you have to immerse the strip in a glass charge containing water. This is the glass charge I have taken. In this one water I have taken. Water is the solvent here. You know that dye is soluble in the water. So here water I am taking, and you have to immerse the strip, the filter paper, into this glass jar. You should consider one thing that this sport should be above the water. The sport should not immerse in the water. This sport should be above the water level. Like this way you have to do the arrangement. After sometimes due to the capillary action, you know that when the filter paper is immersing in water means it will start absorbing the water. So due to the capillary action, the water level will rises and the dye is soluble in the water, that you know, and dye is a mixture of 2 or more 3 colors. So what will happen here is that the colored component that will dissolve or that will soluble in water will rises faster. The colored component that is soluble more in water will rises faster, and that is not soluble means that will dissolve very slowly, that will be at the lower part. Like this way you can see the different colored component here. So the dye, from this dye the color will be separated. That on the screen you can see how after the chromatography how the colors are separated from the dye. Like this way you can use the chromatography. Mostly this is used to separate colors from the dye. Now we are going to see what are the applications of this chromatography. So now we are going to discuss the applications of chromatography. What are the applications of chromatography? The first one is that to separate colors from a dye. Already we have discussed how we are separating the colors from the dye. What is the second one? The pigments from natural colors. Natural colors also contain some pigments. So to separate this pigment from natural colors, we are using this chromatographic method. And the third one is drugs from blood. Blood contain different drugs, medicines and everything. To separate these drugs from the blood also we are using this chromatographic method. Applications of chromatography, so we have discussed here. I hope all of you have understood chromatographic method and the sublimation method. We are going to discuss the separation technique, that is distillation. How distillation is doing and where we have to use this distillation method, that we will discuss today. So distillation, already we have discussed the how we can separate two immiscible liquids. Immiscible liquids means that will not mix each other. Already we have taken example kerosene and oil. So this distillation method is used to separate two miscible liquids. Miscible liquid means they will mix each other. Example, we can take acetone and water. These two are miscible liquid, that means they will mix each other. To separate this mixture we can use this distillation method. So to separate two miscible liquids we are using this distillation method. Actually what is happening here is that first the liquid will be converted into the vapor state. After that the vapor will change into the liquid state. And one more condition is that for this distillation the boiling point, the difference between the boiling point of the two liquids will be large. Acetone and water we are taking. Acetone almost the boiling point is 56 degrees Celsius and water it is 100 degrees Celsius. That means the boiling point difference is large here. On the screen you can see the arrangement of distillation. Here we are taking the distillation flask. You can see on the screen the distillation flask, and you should place one thermometer here and the arrangement should be taken as in the figure. Why we are taking the thermometer, that I will explain now. You know that acetone and water, acetone is the volatile substance, that means it will evaporate first. So when you are giving heat to the mixture, the acetone will start evaporating first. So temperature should be maintained constant here. That is why we are keeping the thermometer here. The temperature should not increase or it should not reach the boiling point of the water. Then what will happen? The water will start evaporating and you won't get the pure mixture here. That is why we are keeping the thermometer. I hope you have understood the point why we are keeping the thermometer there. So once the acetone started boiling, the evaporation of the acetone will start. You can see that one, the condensation is occurring there. Water outlets are there. So condensation will occur. After that you can collect the pure acetone in liquid form in the conical flask. in the conical flask, you will get the pure acetone. So once the evaporation of the acetone completed, the leftover solution in the flask will be, distillation flask will be water only. So like this way you can separate water and acetone. But one point you should keep in mind, that is that there should be a large difference in the boiling point. So this method is used to separate the two miscible liquids. Suppose the boiling point difference is not large, there is a small difference between the boiling point, then how can you separate these miscible liquids? For that we are using the fractional distillation that we are going to discuss next. And I already told you that when the difference between the boiling point is very less, then we are using this fractional distillation method. For that I am going to take one example, that means mixture of two liquids, that is benzene and acetone. These two are miscible liquids. Here I have written the temperature, that means boiling point of benzene. What is the boiling point of benzene? 80, and boiling point of acetone is 56 degrees Celsius. That means there is no large difference between the boiling point of two liquids. So it is difficult to separate these liquids by distillation method. That is why we are using this fractional distillation method. Here on the screen you can see the fractional distillation apparatus and how the arrangement is done. It is same like the distillation method, but one difference is there. Here you can see the fractionating column. In the fractionating column you can see the beads, that means it is filled with glass beads. The fractionating column is filled with glass beads. The function of this glass beads is that once it will allow the vapor to condense repeatedly. So I will explain the process. First, when we are heating, you know that acetone is the volatile substance, so first it will start evaporating. So you can condense the vapors and you can collect in the conical flask already like in the distillation method. Suppose the benzene also started to evaporate, then it will go to the fractional distillation chamber first, that distillating column it will go, and there the condensation of this vapor will occur repeatedly. That is actually the function of this glass beads. The condensation of the second vapor, that is the non-volatile substance, will occur and it will condense continuously, and the water in the liquid form it will be there in the distillation flask only. The liquid will be there in the distillation flask because it will condensate and it will return to the distillation flask. Like this way you can separate two liquids, two miscible liquids, using this fractional distillation. The boiling point difference should be very less. I hope all of you have understood today's topic. Thank you all and have a nice day.